In his hands, he has my heart. In his hands, a bold new start. In his hands, my faith is strong. In his hands, I can't go wrong. In his hands, he saves my soul. In his hands, he has control. In his hands, my life, his plan. In his hands, in God's, not man's. And there's a little prayer that I wrote down and I still say every day. Sometimes I say it more than once a day.
Heart of Clay is a ministry program with the Clay County Jail. They go into the jail, the volunteers, and work with clients and minister to them, basically, teach a variety of different classes.
Our mission statement is to win the lost to Christ, disciple them in the ways of God, and assist them with a successful transition into society. Whether it's in the correctional facility, in the juvenile center, in one of our transitional homes, or out in the community, we strive to point those we serve to the love and hope found only in Jesus Christ.
My name is Sean Foltz. I'm a 13-year Navy veteran, a felon, locked up for 20 months, and I'm a manager at Dairy Queen.
I am an addict. I'm in recovery 2.5 years now. I was born addicted to meth, heroin, and alcohol. My mom was a drug addict, and so it just kind of played into that.
I was a troublemaker kid. I got kicked out of the home at the age of 15. Done a lot of trouble all the way up into my 40s.
My life was at the lowest it's ever been. In 2000, I had back surgery and got addicted to painkillers. And slowly moved up to meth. Within a year, I was an addict, and I was so far over my head. I could never get out. I spent years going in and out of jail, in and out of prison.
I met Marie and a bunch of the other volunteers in Clay County Jail. And so they were telling me about this Crossing Homes, and I knew I needed support when I got out, because every time I got out of jail, the only people that were waiting for me out there were my drug dealers or my old using friends and stuff like that. I never had a safe place to go.
For me, when I got out of the prison, I went to treatment, and I've been out and sober. I got working hard, and the organization is just remarkable. I mean, they're always behind you. I mean, they're always there to listen.
The first resource that was available to me was just having a home. You know, because when I was released from prison, if I didn't have Crossing Home or Heart of Clay, I would have been homeless.
While I was inside, they wrote to me, they encouraged me, they sent me encouragement cards. When I got out, they were right there.
Yeah, it was an amazing place for me. Like, it literally saved my life.
You know, most areas or most apartment buildings here in town, the Fargo-Moorhead area, are just around. You have to have a clean record for 7 to 10 years for any type of felony, sometimes even a misdemeanor. So it really puts a lot of pressure on certain people with backgrounds like us to get accepted into a place just to live.
Felons anyhow think they can never get good work, which is not correct. I mean, for me, for the first time, I applied at 122 jobs before I got my first job when I got out. But I stuck to it, and now I'm a kitchen manager and work construction.
As a peer support specialist, I work for the state of North Dakota. It's a program called Free Through Recovery. And so they allow us to go to the prisons, go to the jails when they're coming out of prison and jail and they're in center, really meeting them where they're at. They get a care coordinator, which helps them with housing, employment, meeting with their PO regularly.
They were right there when I got out. supporting me, loving me, being there while I tried to repair my relationships with my family, while I tried to get a new job, started a new career. Those volunteers changed my life.
It helps me, and I mean, even to this day, it still helps me.
I work for the Clay County Correctional Facility. I am the RAP officer. RAP stands for Reintegration Advanced Planning. So I help people before they're released. So Heart of Clay, I was here when it was originally the Clay County Jail Ministry, so I always think of it as a jail ministry. But it's so much more than that. It's a community-based program. It's, there's a lot more to what they do than just here, and I know that they have people transitioning from treatment facilities into their crossing homes. They have mentors, they have volunteers that help individuals who are needing guidance.
Crossing Homes, it's an organization to where it helps people kind of get back on their feet. It provides them a healthy place to live. It helps them look for jobs, it helps them find jobs, and to be able to have somebody that's in the home that's going through some of the same struggles that they're going through, it helps them cope. And they can work with each other to get through some of the negative times and the down times.
Just having that unconditional support that's always there, a structured program, there are rules and there are expectations, and oftentimes that's what clients are needing or reaching out for, even just to have boundaries put in place that before they maybe didn't know not to cross. I've had clients who had their children taken away, and because of the support and love and care that they received through Crossing Home, were able to reunify with their children and to be a responsible parent again.
There's many other positive type things that the Heart of Clay does. For example, going into the correctional facility, doing all of our programming, providing the parenting classes, providing the financial classes for people, because sometimes that's just a little help they need to be able to get out of that negative flow that they're in.
I helped an individual get released from here straight to Marie. She was able to live at the house, at the Crossing Homes house, for a period of time. They helped her get her own place. They helped her get her kids back.
But some of the other things is just being able to sit down with the folks that are in Crossing Homes and listening to their stories, listening to where they came from, being able to show them that, we're just a human. We're going to sit down with you. We're going to talk to you, just like, they would talk to us at that same time.
I've had especially a number of women go through the women's program who just have basically solidified living healthy, living in a clean manner, and being responsible, being able to take care of business and not be a part of the criminal justice system.
I'm a resident of Crossing Homes. Recently got out of prison. I was locked up for 15 and a half years. I got as much help as you could possibly get as far as looking for a job or rides, just all kinds of support.
I've been with Crossing Homes since about January 16th of 2020, so a little over a year now.
I was recently released from prison about a week ago. Well, what I really like is they're very non-judgmental. They're willing to help almost any way that they can.
Personally speaking, I was really unreliable even for myself and family that I deal with a lot. I was in and out of jobs. I didn't have any real friendships out here.
The food's a big thing because then I don't, when I get out, I don't have to go look for food. That's supplied. Some of the guys I live with actually took me out shopping and got me clothes. Recently, the guy that runs this place knew a guy at church that was looking for a job, and I got a job just by making a phone call.
Well, some of the resources that have been really beneficial to me have been the stability that I've been looking for in having a reliable, safe, sober, sane environment to go home to every day.
I'm just constantly blessed all the time, so it's hard to just, specify one thing. Every time I turn around, it's something good's happening. I haven't had to worry about much. Everything's been good since I got out.
I wasn't in the best place either when I came into this program. I was just out of recovery. I was in my 4th coma from ODing on prescription medication, and helped me become more stable. I've noticed a change in my attitude, my demeanor, my own response to different situations. I've become more humble and less of a New Yorker, I guess you would say, and it's made a positive impact that I can see so far. I believe that having a second chance, even personally speaking for me, has been not only saving, it's been uplifting as well.
When you have a criminal record, it is extremely difficult to find a job. It's difficult to find housing. It's sometimes almost impossible. And so we like to help take away some of those barriers and help people with a safe place to sleep at night and point them in a direction where they may be able to obtain employment with employers that are willing to give them a second chance.
The people see what we're doing. And, we don't go in there and we don't beat them up and we don't think that that's our facility, that's their facility, and it's an honor for us to go in there. And that's how we build them relationships. And I've had staff in there, senior staff, say that we are definitely a part of the family. We're part of the team, and that's a good thing. They understand what we're trying to do. They see how we love on these kids, and then they also start seeing change. And that's the greatest testimony. When you start seeing change in these kids' lives, they know that what we're doing, the gospel, the ministry that we're doing, it's changing their lives. And, again, to God be the glory.
Looking forward to share stories. I'm looking forward to building relationships.
Some of the inmates there would get up and share their story, and many lives have been changed just because of people sharing Jesus. And they love to sing, and it's just joyful to hear their voices ring out with the songs they like to sing.
I've helped 3 or 4 different people get get their lives back on track. Just knowing that I'm doing something good and helping someone else.
Once they hear someone else's story, it will change their view of life, and it will really make them know that people can really change if they just get the love that they need.
I see the other side of life, and it gives me more empathy for them, and wanting to care and tell them that just because they've maybe done something wrong, yet we're all human, and just to love them as they are.
Oh, everyone needs second chances. Nobody has gone through life without making a mistake of some kind.
We've done a lot of fun things. We've taken everybody to Thunder Road, taken some guys to a Vikings game. Just get to do some of those fun things that they've maybe never been able to do before. Probably the most memorable experience is with a guy named Craig that was able to reunite with his son after 25 years. And seeing them spend time together, getting to go out with them and just witness that is probably the best thing I've seen.
The changes that we start seeing in these kids' lives, one of their biggest struggles is probably anger and fear and loneliness. And I think the biggest change that we see is, as we go in there and we love on them and we share the gospel with them, they start finding peace. And I've asked the kids over and over, how many of you want peace in your life? And everyone will raise their hand. And I just keep telling them that through Christ you can have that peace. And when you start seeing that in their life, they're not getting locked up as much.
I think probably the most powerful thing that we get to witness our families being restored. There's men and women that haven't seen their children for years, sometimes decades, and so it is very powerful to see those families being restored, to see a guy be able to spend time with his kid for maybe the first time in 20 years, and him sending me pictures of, hey, my son told me he loved me for the first time ever, or my son finally started calling me dad. Those are probably the most powerful things that we've got to witness. When I was released from prison in 2007, God had blessed me with a place to live, a job to return to, and a church family that loved me unconditionally, just like Jesus did.
Our community has benefited greatly from Heart of Clay. This is something that was not a resource years ago, and to have them available, to have them connecting with people, starting relationships when folks are in the jail, letting them know that there's a different way to live. It just couldn't be more valuable.
Because when you get out, you leave the community. If you go to prison in shackles and handcuffed, and you're called a danger to the community and a criminal and a felon and all these things, and after you serve your time and they release you, you come back to the community and you're like, well, who am I now and where do I go? And for most of us, former addicts, people in recovery, we have a lot of work to do rebuilding our families.
If I had to pass any message along to anyone, I would just pass the message along. Don't lose hope. Hope is the one thing that you should hold on to the most. It gets you through the darkest of times, and just know that eventually, if you're going through a difficult patch, it does get better.
I prayed for blessing of the Holy Spirit and wisdom, and God gave it to me, and it hasn't gone away, and it's an amazing thing. I'd like to see a lot of other people discover that.
One of my philosophies in life is, I could have friends or I can have enemies, and I'd much rather have friends.
This last Easter Sunday, my mom came to church with me, and I know she's been wanting to do that for a long time. And I got to invite her to church this time.